I'm Amy, and I'm going to talk to you about my Reading Rush TBR today. I am a travel vlogger. However, travel vlogging right now is very difficult because I live in Washington and we are doing as much as we can to stay at home and reduce the spread of COVID-19. I've really been getting into BookTube lately. I didn't know anything about it forever. I just found out about it recently. I saw a video from Ariel Bissett and I was hooked. And then I realized, holy crap, this is a thing, which is awesome because I run a nonfiction book club and I've always loved talking about books. I just didn't know that there was a subsection of YouTube that was specifically for book lovers. And so it's been really cool exploring it and learning all about it and finding something that I never knew existed. I'm getting into it. It's been a thing. And to prove that, I actually recently did a readathon, which was fantastic. I read 4 books that week, and I did a whole bunch of other life challenges that helped me to experience more of the Korean culture during that week. I actually put it on my travel channel because I felt like it was sort of appropriate for that channel, so I will link the videos to my TBR for that and to my vlog, which I haven't posted yet, but I plan on posting soon. I'll link all that down in the description box below. So if you're interested, you can check out my readathon, and that was sort of my tester to see how I could do for this Reading Rush. Reading Rush is a week-long readathon that's hosted by Ariel Bissett and Raylene, and I can't wait to do it. You're trying to read as many books as you possibly can. However, there are specific prompts that you can try and fulfill to get those books read. And since I'm a list person, I love lists. I love making an effort to read off everything from lists. I'm going to try that. And I figured if I can't finish the books within that week, which I'm going to try to do, but if I can't, then I don't mind going a little longer and could be longer than just the week of the Reading Rush for me. I'm going to link all the stuff you need to know about Reading Rush down below. I'm going to talk about all the reading prompts and then tell you what book I chose and a little bit of a synopsis about the book. Let's get started. The first book challenge is to read a book that has a cover that's the same color as your birthstone. So I'm a February baby and my birthstone is amethyst, purple. And so I chose the color purple. However, the book that I picked up, I was able to get this used. It's not, there is purple, but I've seen much prettier covers than this one. However, this will fulfill what I need it to do. It has a purple cover, and it's purple in the name especially. So the color purple takes place in rural Georgia. There are 2 sisters, Celie and Nettie. They are separated, and this is basically a book of letters from Celie to God at first, and then to Nettie specifically. Celie is married off to a man who is very controlling and treats her very poorly. There is a lot of domestic and sexual abuse in this book. It is a very difficult subject, but I feel like it's a very important subject, and so I know that I will probably watch the movie again after reading this. I don't think I've ever read this, and I've heard great things, so I'll be reading this probably first because this fulfills 3 of the prompts. So the second challenge is a book that starts with the letter The. I chose The Dreamers. It's by Karen Thompson Walker. So this I actually found from Ariel Bissett also because she was looking at books that were quarantine specific. And this is interesting because it's held place in Southern California in a little small town, a college town. Some of the girls in the dorm get ill with some kind of sickness. Everybody gets quarantined because it starts spreading. And the people who are ill are dreaming, like they're in this constant dreaming state. One of the little things says, what are they dreaming about? So that should be interesting. I really enjoy reading books about quarantines and pandemics, especially right now since we are in one. And I recently read Spillover, and if you haven't read that, that's a fantastic pandemic book. I highly, highly recommend it. It explains so much. That's a nonfiction book, so if you get a chance, that's a good one to read. Next prompt, a book that inspired a movie you've already seen. The book that I chose for this is Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman, and I've seen the movie with Sandra Bullock and with Nicole Kidman. It's super sexy and fun. There's definitely some parts that are sad and not so fun, but I really enjoyed it. I like stories about witchcraft and witches. I loved the ants in this. I've never read the book though, so I'm excited about seeing what there is to see and being able to then maybe watch the movie as well right after this again and seeing how much the movie and the book compare. So That is my movie adaptation book. Number 4 is The Book You First Touched. Now this is kind of tricky. My books are kind of packed away. I don't have all my books in a library. What I did was I used a random number generator. I used my TBR List on Goodreads, and it's numbered if you haven't known. I did a random number generator from like 1 to 700 and something. I have a million TBRs on there. And then I made sure that the book was under 300 pages. So the book it came out to was Gullivers Travels by Jonathan Swift, which I'm gonna put right here. I am still gonna get that from the library soon. The reason I want to read Gulliver's Travels is because I read parts of it while I was in an English course recently when I was in college, and I really enjoyed the satire. I enjoyed the political satire. Jonathan Swift was an Irishman, and he wasn't poor. He was definitely in the upper levels of the aristocracy, but he has a lot of complaints about the English aristocracy and the Whigs specifically, hypocrisy and immorality. The main characters, he's traveling to these different lands, the Lilliputian and Brobdingnag. That's so, and it basically is talking about his experience in those places. And his experiences are very representative of the things that he's upset with in England specifically. So it's a short, should be fairly easy read. I've read most of it before, and that's the one that I random number generated. So that's what I'm gonna read. Number 5 is a book that you only read outside your house. So we have a beautiful patio that has some nice lounge chairs on it, and I plan on reading my book out there. The book I chose for that is for Reading Rush. There is a group book club option, and that is Such a Fun Age by Kiley Reid. I don't know too much about it. I do know that it has to do with a vlogger that is having some troubles in her life. She asks her African-American babysitter to watch her child and take her child to a market to distract the child, and at that time a security guard thinks that the babysitter is kidnapping the child, and it sounds like it's a situation where, there's a lot of well-meaning intentions. They're often handled badly. At least that's the gist I'm getting from it. And I feel like this is also a very important story for right now because it'll show a lot of the situations that African Americans face on a daily basis, where they're being treated with suspicion in regular everyday settings like a market. The next book is a book, so when I originally watched the video, this next one is supposed to be a book from a genre that you want to read more of. However, I heard it as a book from a genre you read the least or you're kind of scared of. And so I chose that because I chose my books a little while ago. And I am going to read Persepolis, which is a graphic novel memoir. I have never read a graphic novel. I'm not at all one to read comic books or anything along those lines. I know that graphic novels are different than comics. However, it's the same concept. There's pictures, with all the writing. And I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll get into this. I know that this is one of the more popular graphic novel books, and I'm looking forward to reading it. It's basically talking about a young Iranian girl during the Islamic Revolution in Tehran, and she is talking about her upbringing and all the things that come with it. I'm looking forward to reading that, the memoir part of it. Will I enjoy a graphic novel? I have no idea. So, and this is her story. This is the story of the author. So I'm looking forward to reading it. And this is what the pictures kind of look like. So we'll see how that goes. And then the 7th prompt, the final prompt is read a book that takes place in a continent that you do not live on. So I chose George Orwell's Down and Out in Paris and London because that takes place in Europe, over there, not on my continent here in North America. I recently listened to a podcast about George Orwell, and it was fascinating to hear his story. And there was a time when he lived in the poorer neighborhoods as a writer, trying to, he came from a fairly wealthy family, but he was trying to live and learn from the down and outs of society. And so he lived in Paris, and I don't know if he did in London as well, but he got a really cheap apartment in a really poor area and tried to live as everybody else in that area lived. And so this is a fictional memoir. However, it's supposed to be sort of based off his experiences living in the poorer parts of Paris. Those are my reads. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm not sure I'll even have time to do any kind of vlogging for this. I do like that. I did that for my Create-a-thon and it was a lot of fun, so I'm gonna try. However, it's going to be a busy week for a lot of things, so I don't know how much I'll actually get to read. I'm really excited to experience the reading rush. I'm going to try and get on one of their read with me Zoom calls, and maybe, I don't know if I'll be able to do any of the video challenges, and I don't do Twitter, so I probably won't do a Twitter sprint. However, if I do any of those video challenges, I will be posting them here. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you are interested in seeing any more of me doing BookTube, comment down below. I'm really kind of just playing around with it, seeing if I might be interested in this. I'm still a little hesitant. I have my travel vlog, but I really haven't done that much with it lately, and I'm really enjoying BookTube and kind of just diving into reading a lot lately. So I love talking about books. I read a wide range of books. I read a lot of nonfiction. Like I said, I host a nonfiction book club. I am trying to get myself back into fiction. I don't have a specific genre of things I love to read, so you would be getting a lot of random stuff from me. So click the like button, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.